Good morning, everybody. I'm trying a different system to give you this video feedback. I've been trying to use a, a program which, for some mysterious reason, abolished my sound. Have you any idea how hurtful it is when my voice does not come through on these little broadcasts? Nevertheless, I've got your remarks here in front of me. If I appear to be looking down at another part of the screen, it's because I'm looking at things that you've said. Right. So I can't explain why the sound went on my previous replies, but let's just start off. Dorian makes an excellent point when she talks about my previous lesson about thrombolysis being somewhat out of date. This is an excellent point, and there's no possible. I was just hoping that nobody would notice this, but the point is essentially correct, and that is this: that in Liverpool, for instance, and in Manchester, for instance, and certainly London, what's happened is that the coronary care services have shifted over to primary angioplasty. Now, this development took place after the release of comprehensive coronary care, and it's comprehensive coronary care that I've based the course on, really. But this is an excellent point, and it raises some really serious points for you coronary care nurses. And the point that it raises is this: if now people are not going for thrombolytic therapy, then what exactly is a coronary care unit for? It doesn't make sense to speak about coronary care. I mean, I think what might happen is complicated cases, or cases of heart failure, or cases of, well, who knows? Who knows? Certainly in local Liverpool hospitals, for instance, whereas the thrombolytic nurse used to be sort of cutting edge, right out there on the front line. If their patients are being assessed for primary angioplasty and are getting sent over to the tertiary centre in an hour, then what is the role? What is the role for the thrombolytic nurse? Good point. Good point. And I'm really, but my argument remains the same, and that is this: that I base this course on comprehensive coronary care, and comprehensive coronary care represents the situation in the majority of the country. It doesn't represent the situation. It represents less and less the situation in modern conurbations. Then we have Sarah's point. Sarah's point on Unit 8, which is and she says, and she makes an excellent point here. I can't fault it, I can't floor it. In the 8 years of accidents and emergency nursing, she never saw patients using chest pain to get early attention. And frankly speaking, Sarah, it came to me as a shock. You know, the idea that nurses on the front line were saying that this was what happened. First of all, I didn't believe it. Right, I thought this was hard-bitten accidents and emergency nurses. There you are. But this was a story that came to be repeated over a couple of different groups, and it was that struck me as shocking. Now, maybe this is more a measurement of the sort of iron in the soul that emergency work can often bring to you, that you feel as though people are taking advantage. Maybe it's something like that. I don't know. The other point that she makes is down at the bottom about monitoring on dying patients. I never ever knew what to do with this one. She makes another point later on. She returns to the subject, Sarah, later on, and she says that I suggest in a written piece, in a written reply, that in some senses, if you turn the monitor off, then this. I always used to feel, there's no research base for this, this is just what I used to feel when I was in charge of an intensive care unit, that if you went along and you turned off the monitor, by the way, that they've been paying an awful lot of attention to for the last 12 hours, if you just turn it off, it looks almost as though you're packing their personal belongings for the inevitable discharge. Do you see what I mean? In some way, I used to feel that it could be interpreted that we were tidying up. So I never used to like it. So we used to compromise by turning the monitor away from the relatives, but I'm not even sure that works either. I think that this is one of the situations with patients where you can't really do anything that's 100% right, except kind of be there. No matter what you do, there's going to be question marks. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I'm going to leave that one with you because you're in practice and I'm not. What else does she say? Oh yes, 24-hour bed rest. It is incredible how the situation has changed here. Once upon a time, the patients were kept in bed for 5 days, and now you're lucky if you're allowed to stay in bed more than a few hours. You're out of bed the following day if you have a heart transplant, so I believe. What else have we got? What else? General observations, okay, and the exercises, right? Yes, exercise, absolutely. Oh, poor communication. That's right. Poor communication. Now you will only understand. And probably you're all under the age of 24 anyway, so both of you won't understand this. But if you've got a relative in hospital and you're getting conflicting opinions from different people, it just drives you nuts. And I'm saying this as a relative. I'm saying this as somebody who really knows the system. I understand that people say different things. They give their opinions. I think your dad will be out by the weekend. Well, that may be your opinion, but sometimes it can matter. But the thing is, as a relative, if you've got yourself ready for a weekend discharge and all of a sudden you're being told that it's not going to be for another week, it strikes, even though you know the system, it strikes you as chaotic. And no wonder it gives rise to so many complaints and so many expressions of dissatisfaction from patients and their relatives. I also note that the exercise, yes, doctors have been very poor where recording conversations is concerned. That's true. That is very true. I mean, if I am a visitor on a ward as a lecturer and I want to know what's going on with the patients, I always found that the doctor's notes were by far more reliable in terms of what's going on with investigations, with theories, with discussions on the ward round, that sort of stuff. But if you want to know what's been said to the family members, then it's the nursing notes that you go to. Yeah, excellent point. As for dietary advice, again, this is something which I always found a little bit tricky, because to start the rehabilitation with diet process in the coronary care unit, you shouldn't be eating that many fry-ups. You should be having more salads, right? And you're giving the middle-aged gentleman this advice with his wife sitting next to the bed, almost as though you're saying, yeah, well, see those fry-ups that she made you? They're likely to be the thing that put you in here in the first place. Which, came this close to victim blaming. Okay, look, I've got 9 minutes and 5 seconds. I've got to wind up soon, or you can only get 10 minutes on YouTube in any individual film. Well done, everybody. Ireland, you're still too quiet. Get cracking with the discussions. But all I'm saying is, I'm doing this on my holiday. That's what you call, in the modern age, dedication to duty. See you all, everybody, and I'll be in touch next week. Bye now.